All right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention. If people are looking to either try to connect with you or want to follow you, what are some of your social media outlets that you want to promote here?
Okay. Well,
this
Brian
is the way.
Brian Cage on Instagram.
I want his wife's contact.
You hear that, Melissa?
What?
She just got home too.
What?
Yeah. Hi, sweetheart.
It's Don and Dan from. You met.
Who?
She's talking about you.
She was the ring announcer. She was the ring announcer in San Diego.
Hi. Are we doing a podcast?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Dan Severn and Don Frye.
I thought we were having a conversation.
No.
But
there's
that's all we are really are.
My
Just have a
contact
conversation.
information. They're asking for contact information for social media.
Okay.
And then
I said I wanted your contact, not his.
Oh, hi. Oh, yes.
Oh,
I
hi.
have my contact. Hit me up on the DMs.
All right. I don't know. That got the Irishman in trouble. Conor McGregor in trouble.
It did. But yeah, Brian Cage on Instagram, and then Mr. GMSI_BCage on Twitter. That name sucks. It's really long and complex, and most people can't find me. But I have a blue check mark, so I can't change it or I lose it. That, and then the Mr. GMSI, that was one of my first little indie gimmicks that stuck out real well, because everyone used to always give me shit about want to go out there and do so much stuff, and like, oh, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to get your shit in. Oh, Chris Logan, you always want to get your shit in. Brian Cage, you always want to get your shit in. And I was like, yeah, that's right, because I'm Mr. Get My Shit In, and then that's where the Mr. GMSI came in.
That's funny. Well, again, that's a good work ethic, though. That's having a good work ethic there. Whether it's inside the ring or outside the ring, it's a good work ethic. Will see you through. So,
Absolutely.
And my problem was I met one goal and I wouldn't set another. I would have that goal and I'd hit it and I'd be happy with it, and when you've got to always achieve more,
Yeah, can't be content or just in complacency, because then you're not going to go anywhere else. So
Right.
that's kind of like the competition began better competition. If you have no other, goals to set, then it's like, well, where do you go from here?
Well, how'd you get such a gorgeous wife while you were in Lucha Underground, man?
Oh, she was the ring announcer at Lucha Underground. So that's another reason why I said like that. That was probably the best season, or the best federation I've been in too.
Yeah. Best job you ever got, huh?
I know, and I didn't expect it to happen, nor did I think that would happen. But it just kind of fell into place, and then I.
She needed her green card, and
Oh shit!
I have my green card. Thank you very much.
oh yeah, you do now.
Okay. I'm Nicaraguan. We automatically got him when we came over here running away from socialism. So.
Well, we're bringing socialism here. Aren't you happy?
I hope not.
You see the idiots running the country?
Yes. So I was gonna ask you guys, how were you guys ever offered a fight amongst each other?
We were supposed to. When the winner of Ultimate 2 was supposed to fight Mr. Severn for the World Heavyweight Championship, and when I won Ultimate 2, but during the final fight, I broke my hand against Tank Abbott. And so that pulled me out, obviously, because the fight was scheduled to be two months away, and a broken hand takes 6 to 8 weeks, and even if I wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to train to get in shape for it,
Gotcha.
well, we were using the same attorney and stuff like that as well. So it was never really going to ever happen
right.
between Don and myself. But it was like just I had to tell Don, just stir the pot up a little bit, just stir the pot up. I go, and you just never know something new might come out of all of it. I go, right now they're just looking at one thing. Let's just stir the pot up a little bit. A couple other things will come out of it. That just being involved first in professional wrestling and then being involved in the cage fighting world. I was able to use some of that psychology that I learned in professional wrestling and apply it in the cage fighting world. I mean, I knew how to make a crowd love me. I knew how to make a crowd hate me. Whereas, like, I was an older athlete, competing in the cage fighting stuff. So, these guys, I was never going to win the fisticuffs because that was not my forte. But you have to be within arm's reach in order to punch, legs, range, kick, knee, elbow. So I was always good about just staying a little bit outside of range, bait people, and then close that distance, whether that would be a takedown, clinch him out in the open, or simply just jam him up against the cage wall. I was really good in that aspect. And then, my whole aspect was there at that point was, once I got you clinching, you shall never see the light of day again, because if I do let you loose, you're going to punch, kick me. And it's overrated. I'd rather be the person that's punching somebody else as opposed to being punched in the head. So
didn't you like that? So didn't you not necessarily train specifically for MMA? Did you just go in there basically just as an amateur wrestler? It's like, okay, I'm just going to beat these guys.
That was, I mean, literally that's where one of my things that I talk about that out of a 20-year career, I only did 2 training camps, once for UFC number 5 and once for the Ultimate. Those are my only 2 training camps I ever did. One was for 32 days, one was for 35 days. And that was two different records I set there. One was for the shortest time ever to take it out 3 minutes. And then the other one, the Ultimate was being inside the octagon cage just over 1 hour between my 3 opponents. And that was in Denver, Colorado, mile high elevation. So So that was still, during that no holds barred era. So there was, we had the 2 rules to abide by: no biting, no eye gouging. So the product has changed a great deal today, and it had to change because of the scrutiny that all these other legislators and politicians were trying to put pressure onto it. It's kind of like anything else. Like, look at professional wrestling. Vince McMahon himself had to expose the industry just so that he no longer had to fall underneath all these different athletic commissions. He could simply say that it's not a true athletic contest. These are real athletes doing real athletic maneuvers, but it's not like it's a real death match or cage match or something like this. It's an entertainment product. And just by Vince doing that alone, he saved his company multiple millions of dollars on an annual basis because he no longer had to be scrutinized by various state athletic commissions.
Yeah, I think the very first UFC I watched as a kid was UFC 6. But I mean, I watched all the UFC stuff before it was, a big deal, where it, became a big major sport as opposed to just a once in a while spectacle. But yeah, and I did like it so much more than at least I felt like I did, just because it was just, I liked when it first started to the no rounds, the no weights and limits and everything just open. But for it to move forward and progress, like you said too, especially with all the athletic commissions and everything else, because it seemed just too barbaric, if you will, for like the general population to accept. And I felt like they had to make it, weight classes, more rules, and this and that to make it more contained and sports oriented.
Yeah, no,
rather than just like. Go ahead.
You had other you had just different politicians and athletic commissioners that were just coming down on the sport, and Senator John McCain was one of the biggest advocates going against the UFC at that point in time. But at the same token, he was heavily involved in the sport of boxing, and if you really look at, I guess, the true aspects of it all, if you follow the money trail, you usually will follow the right answers here right now. But it was this MMA was a new threat to the sport of boxing. But boxing has it's carved out its own niche, same way what mixed martial arts. I look at MMA now as a kind of a watered down combat sport. It has 47 or 49 rules to it to this day that it's just a nice little competition. Whereas before it was the closest thing to ever being a real fight. And that's what Art Davie, the brainchild of the whole deal, that's what he was looking for. He just wanted to see what person or what skill set or what discipline would reign supreme. And he had some pretty crazy ideas of having a cage suspended in the air over like a moat with crocodiles and stuff like that into it. I mean, just something as crazy as all that. I mean, I actually saw those pictures of that.
Oh my God.
Heard it from him. So he had some pretty wild ideas, but he was a businessman, and he ended up soliciting Jorge Gracie for the matchmaker for doing it. So as you said, it's kind of like letting the fox in the hen house. That's what it was. So
right. Well, yeah, because the very first use, he was so like intentionally to like showcase, voice and everything too. So,
Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, right. You bet. Yeah, I'm gonna say more Gracie Jiu-Jitsu franchise were sold during that time era, and then any other time, and Art Navy kind of was left out in the cold. He did not get any piece of that. So I mean, I like Art for what he stood for. He was just a businessman with a crazy idea that brought it to fruition.
Absolutely. And before Severn got here, you told me that I was your favorite fighter, of all time. But who's your favorite fighter?
But that's before you met me. Now, come on.
Who's your favorite modern fighter now?
Favorite modern fighter? Who, I mean,
must not have one. Jump to your
no, because there's a lot of good ones, but like people that I still like I'm excited to see. Like I love Robbie Lawler. Just I feel like he always goes balls to the wall no matter what.
Robbie Lawler he's a time tested. I enjoy watching him as well.
Yeah, he never has you win, lose, draw. He never has a bad fight. And he's one guy that somehow like that final round comes out and he almost has like more energy, more fire. Like I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's just gonna keep going for it. So many great fights with him. I want to see him and Nick Diaz. I'm stoked for. I don't know if there's anybody that's like none of the champions are main guys right now. I'm a big fan of. Obviously, I'm very much entertained by Conor McGregor, but
now if you look back at some of Conor McGregor's background, when he first came on the scene, he was just happy to be in the UFC. He was happy to have just won. He was happy to be Ireland's version of welfare. But then he started to understand the reaction, and literally, I think he understood how to work that crowd.
Oh, sure, wrestling style, for sure.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why I always tell people that if you really want to make it in the MMA world, you should take a couple sessions of professional wrestling 101 and 102, because it will learning that psychology and learning especially how to work that crowd, to move that crowd. That's a very important aspect.
Well, same thing with Chael Sonnen and Colby Covington and everything else. They all kind of have that wrestling aspect that work themselves into it. So
Connor stole Ric Flair's gimmick, it's funny to see whose gimmick will be stolen next.
Right,
gentlemen, I'm going to apologize. I am going to bow out. I did get a text here that I have to head ashore and to pick up some more family members that are coming on in. So,
bullshit.
Brian,
you gotta go grocery shopping, do the dishes.
Well, I mean, okay, Don, yes, you talked about ice cream. Okay, so I gotta go grab a couple, just a small little 5-gallon tub, and I'll be okay.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, that's all.
Thank God he leaves. We get to really just do it.
Okay.
Talking.
So, Brian, been a real pleasure. I hope to actually the bump into you somewhere on the road here, and we get a chance to sit down and break bread together.
All right. Yes, that'd be great, sir.
Okay. Take care.
Take care.
Bye, Grandpa.
All right. You bastard.
Say hi to all the other little bastards.
Okay.
At the home. Holy balls. Don't forget your mask and,
everything else. You bet.
Shit, Brian.
I don't really know what I'm doing here right now. Here I'm trying to says leave.
There it goes. Too. What I actually remember, that fight very much. When I was like the first time the fight, you said you broke your hand in with Tank Abbott.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, I was never like Tank Abbott was entertaining, but I was never a big fan of his. And I remember too, like you coming in there and just destroying him and not like striking him. I was like, oh shit, Tank Abbott's getting fucked up.
Yeah.
So that was, and then obviously I don't know if there's a more reference fight, especially in pro wrestling too, than yours and Takayama. Like that's always talked about. I love when people like, especially if they don't even know MMA, like, dude, that one guy, the American dude in the Japan. I'm like, yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Or they always say the big Chinese guy. He's not Chinese, okay? And I'm like, learn his damn name. Give the guy the respect.
Oh, okay. What I'm more dumbfounded about it, and I was making a comment, is how like you guys are just like throwing it, right? Just hockey fighting, just throwing haymakers at each other. How is his face destroyed and yours look totally fine? Like the next, like after the round.
I don't know. That's what I wonder. I wonder if you stone working punches didn't know it was a shoot. I was moving my head. Just a split second out of the way. If you go back and watch it, you can see that, I got lucky that night. I got really lucky to be spot on. I trained my ass off for 4 or 6 weeks, I don't know, because it's supposed to be my rematch against Coleman. I mean, I was gunning, and then a couple weeks into it, you're a couple weeks away from the fight, they said he got hurt, he might have broke his neck. I was like, holy shit, so I just prayed for him, healed his neck and make sure it wasn't broken, because I wanted to win. I didn't want to win that way,
of course.
That's not a way to win. And so they said, nah, it was just like a stinger or something, but he still can't fight. And so, well, who am I fighting? We don't know yet. And so they told me about a week out,
Oh shit.
Yeah, which is pretty good for Pride, because they would change the opponent on you, the night before that day.
Oh, so it was like a pro wrestling show then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like okay. Did you like Pride more than UFC?
Well, the money was better, and the crowds are bigger, because I was in it when it was quasi illegal.
Yeah, I know. I mean, when I first started watching Pride, I had the Pride video game and stuff. I thought Pride was so much cooler than UFC, and it was just more. And then the big entrances and everything else, and I like the rules a little bit better. I thought the ring was great. I thought they had just more variety of fighters at that time and stuff. And I was way more into Pride FC than I was UFC.
Well, I like the cage a lot better than the ropes.
The ring, yeah. Well, yeah, because that too, that keeps you from falling out. I would get annoying when you'd have to reposition you, but
right.
But yeah, no, I did very much enjoy Pride. I thought it was great. Who was this is like not turning into my podcast with you. Who was your toughest or I guess most respected opponent that you fought?
Oh, Takayama, Takayama in both of those, he was the toughest to take what he took, and and I respect him the most, for that. And the next was Amaury Bitetti, UFC 9. Have you ever seen that one?
Was that a tournament or was that
no? It was a single fight night.
No, I don't think I have that.
Yeah.
If I had, what's the finish of it?
Yeah, it was in Detroit, and I won. John McCarthy stopped the fight, because
there's a good chance I have seen it. Then I just don't know.
Well, they might have not show it, because it was a brutal fight. It was a really brutal fight, and it was more brutal than my fight against Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as far as so I mean, did you just onslaught the guy then, or?
Yeah. I was really lucky that night too. I had a great night.
Well, shit.
I mean, Amaury Bitetti he was a tough fighter. He was like 150 and won in jiu-jitsu, victories. And the one loss was because he's in a tournament and he had already beaten the guy he's gonna meet in the finals. So they started drinking champagne, before the fight, and he went out there and got knocked out. So that tells you never celebrate before, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go here pretty quick too and start get ready to go back to the gym. I did
Yeah.
did my morning session. I got to go ahead another one up here in a little bit. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss or say beforehand or?
I don't know what you got. No, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
All right, cool.
Thank you very
Cool,
much.
cool, cool.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I know, like I said, we've been trying to do this for a while. I know he's trying to set up for me to come out there, which would have been great. I know, just like it just wasn't working out. But hey, better late than never.
Yeah. Well, hell, what's your next show?
Well,
After the
Triple Main tomorrow, yeah, Mexico show, and then I'll go back out to I go back to AEW on Father Tuesday. We have Dynamite Wednesday, and we'll probably record our YouTube show that same day, and then I have a Redcon one that's a sponsors event I have to go to, and then I have a indie show in South Florida on Friday, and then another one in Chicago on Saturday. And then I'm back home Sunday, Monday, and then back on the road Tuesday.
Wow, man. Jeez. When's your next pay-per-view though with AEW?
That's September 5th, Sunday, September 5th in Chicago.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
What's the name of it?
All out.
AEW.
All out. I know.
All out.
Yeah. That's like All Out and Double or Nothing are like their two main pay-per-views. So this is like the WrestleMania or SummerSlam-esque pay-per-view, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, do you know who you work with?
I believe I'm working with Ricky Starks in the Team Taz feud, but like I said, it's penciled in, so we'll see what happens.
Right. It was funny in Japan. There was no storyline ever, and we'd fight. We'd work with one guy one night, and next night we'd be his tag partner, and it was like it took forever to get used to that. It really did.
Well, yeah, it's a little more sport based, I guess, in Japan too, where it's like was less storyline stuff. I've done a few tours in Japan, not with New Japan, unfortunately. I always work with Noah, but yeah, it's phenomenal over there, though. I feel like it's respected and appreciated in a different way in Japan than it is in the States.
Yeah, because some of their pro wrestlers, the older guys, are like national heroes.
Oh, for sure.
Like you had Ricky Dozan, and Antonio Inoki and the Giant Baba, and those are names that you go down forever over there. Some of them ended up in the House of Reps, or a senator.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully we can do this again, or maybe I can make it down there in person sometime down the road. But all right, guys. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And good luck at BioX too. Tell them I said hi.
All right, partner. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Good luck. See you later.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.